The adventure continues as our party, Nyx, the reincarnated rogue, Rinverhi, the holy sun worshipper, Bran, the monster hunting ranger, and Kenopsia, the DreamWalker amnesiac, explore the mysterious dreamscape in their Pristine Dreams. A couple of things are going to sort of happen at the same time, so I just want to go over them all together. So right now, after that little discussion, that kind of very faithful and stern, resolute word of inspiration from Rinverhi, there is kind of like a little bit of a silence until you guys hear this like creaky sound. And you all kind of look over to see Stavos just frozen, like has just fallen into a seat, like, what the fuck is going on? And as he's sitting there just like frozen with his face of like, holy shit. Bran, you get distracted by what almost feels like kind of like cat paws kind of poking into your skin. Like, you know how little cats can poke at you with their little feetsies when they're trying to crawl up you?
Yeah.
And you take a look down like that and you realize Carl is trying to crawl around a little bit and peek out from under your cloak. And he looks at you and he's kind of just like, did you see that thing out there? It was huge. And it was reckless. And man, you fight too hard to not be the monster. To walk into it that easy, you know? And then he kind of nuzzles you a little bit.
To Carl. Pets Carl.
He accepts a couple of little pets and then kind of slinks back into your cloak. And the third thing that happens at the same time, and Rinverhi, Kenopsia, and Nyx, all of you guys can roll a perception check to see if you notice that interaction with Carl.
14.
14?
17.
Mm-hmm.
17?
12.
12? Okay, so yeah, definitely all you guys notice that, right? And just as you're about to respond to it, Maenalus chimes in essentially like he didn't notice that. And he kind of points at Rinverhi and he's just like, Faith is exactly the only thing that can help us now. If
It's been the only thing I can rely on.
Yeah. If the old gods cursed my family with this lycanthropy, it would take the act of a god to cure your friend now.
That sort of brings us back to why we're here in the first place. We are sent here by a woman named Rava, Madame Rava, and her grandmother lived here, Arata.
Yes.
Is that familiar to you at all?
I know the name, yes. She has a bad reputation around here. Someone who... Go ahead.
I'm sure she does, because we need her to help us awaken gods.
I've heard the stories and the goals of the awakened from my father, yes. And he keeps this woman in an odd way, not a prisoner, but stuck here. He doesn't want to reconnect her with the rest of the awakened. He doesn't let any of them come for her. Does everything he can to stop them.
Do you know where she's kept?
I have an idea where she's kept, yes. There is a small peninsula to the northwest where people are sent who are politically volatile to my father, but too important to simply kill. She is likely among them.
Do you know how we can reach her, this place?
We may be able to sneak there under the cover of nightfall. We could try to take a small boat up the coastline there. Either way would be dangerous, but not impossible.
Well, as long as it's not impossible. I think we may have our next move then.
Our next move should be to flee the city. Return you to whence you came. Forget about any possibility of awakening the old gods. It's been centuries and no one's ever even come close. The fact that you all even made it here is a miracle.
Well, like I said, we have to have faith. And
he kind of runs his
turning
fingers
to-
through his hair like he's challenged by what you said.
mm-hmm.
But go ahead.
Retreat is not an option.
We've come too far to turn back now. Kenopsia will pipe in. He's been kind of just like looking wayward this entire time, but I'll pipe in again. And he'll shake his head. We've gone through too much to get here.
And if we need the gods to make sure this is no longer a problem, and he like gestures to Kenopsia's injured shoulder.
Yeah, my soul, it's injured.
Your injured soul.
It fell
Accurate.
down the stairs. I injured fucking everything because I've been rolling like dog shit.
I know,
all
it's been so
night long. All
nasty.
night
That's
long.
so unkind. It's fucked up.
Yeah. But yeah. Rinverhi is like, we will stay true to our task, our quest, and the gods will help us stop men like your father.
Maenalus is he's still doing that thing where he's standing with his dominant hand towards you, and he kind of looks at Kay for a second, and he's like, you think just because you're bitten, you've lost. And he kind of turns where you could see his other shoulder that's gone, and he's like, there's still more for you to lose, friend. And then, like, Rinverhi, you kind of continued on there, and he stops for a second and is kind of thinking, and he's like, maybe the gods are on your side.
Perhaps.
There hasn't been a
hope
fire in
so.
Arcadia for centuries. And yet a fire saved you.
What can we say? He has a real spark about him.
God's chosen, if you will.
Rinverhi.
God's favorite little twinkling star.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's God's favorite princess.
Yay! God's prize little Barbie.
Mm-hmm.
And Maenalus kind of looks around at all of you guys for a second, like kind of weighing what you're saying. And he's like, and he kind of gestures towards Nyx, and he's like, I've seen a lot of things I never saw before this week. People that could actually awaken the old gods might be the least bizarre thing.
We're full of surprises.
Nyx was like looking back at Maenalus as he gestured to her, but she actually kind of looks off to the side because she's not connected to a god.
Oh,
Aren't you, though? Like the
You
god
are,
of
she's so
awesome.
yeah.
But so he kind of stops for a second, and he's, like I said, like running his hands through his hair, just kind of thinking, and he paces around for a second, and he walks by Stavos, who's just like, this dude's got like 1,000-mile stare over there. And Maenalus reaches down and like puts a hand on his shoulder, and Maenalus kind of like warms up and like comes back to life in a sense, you know, where he's like, I have a cart. I take supplies back and forth from the shop. It's a couple of barrels. You could hide among it. I could cart you out that way.
I hope you have some pretty big barrels.
If not, tarps will suffice. That is very generous
Tarps are good.
offer.
Yeah, that's kind of what he's saying, right? Like, if I have a bunch of barrels and I throw a big tarp over them, you guys could hide in between them,
Yeah.
kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah. They're very generous.
And if I may ask, Stavos, what is that tincture you applied to Kenopsia?
Oh, it is a healing salve.
Is it something that will help stave the effects of his injury?
It's his injury for sure.
What about the condition itself?
Not likely. As the prince said, this is the work of the gods themselves. Gods, they cannot undo the magic of another. Only the god that bestowed this curse could remove it.
And who would that be?
He kind of looks up at the prince like he's like kind of guilty for knowing, you know?
Oh,
But
And he
he's
looks
like-
over to, he looks over to the Prince Maenalus, and then he's gonna like cock his eyebrow, and he's just like, "I'm sorry, is this taboo?"
And yeah, Maenalus is like, commoners are not even allowed to discuss the old gods. Many of them have curiosities. And he's like, Stavos, you hold no ill will from me. And if we can help these people and break this curse, it would be nothing but a joy to me. Speak freely. And
Please,
Stavos, he kind of turns and like opens up like a little drawer and he pulls out like a little book, you know?
Ooh.
And he's, you know, it's like a little pocket book kind of thing. And he unfurls it.
Kenopsia will like inch closer just so he can get a better look at it.
Sure. If you kind of take a peek at it over his shoulder, you can tell it's like a personal diary, you know? And
Is this your own?
has like dates and stuff. And he's like, yes, I like to record things that I hear from people and things my family has shared with me. Mostly.
I think that's very knowledgeable. Good. He nods. He nods in approval.
It's mostly recipes, you know, potion mixing, ingredients, things like this. But I have heard from some over the years, and he flips through a couple pages and he points and he's like, some people say that there are ways to cure ailments by worshiping the old gods and that they would help you and cure things.
I see.
People tell tale of King Lycaon and the way he was before, and that, yes, he, like the prince said, had disrespected the Xenia. Xenia is a tradition of hospitality, of kinship
Of course.
for all mankind.
Yes. We all witnessed the Xenia.
It sounds like you didn't witness a quite proper one.
I see.
You are certainly supposed to share a meal with an outsider before you question them or ask them who they are. You're supposed to make sure that they're clothed and fed and comfortable and safe, healthy.
Yes.
And then you can speak with them and ask them questions.
Of course.
But if King Lycaon, the way the prince said, served someone foul meat, then he would have disrespected that Xenia, and so would those that enjoyed in the meal. This would directly anger the goddess in charge of hospitality.
May I ask who that is? I apologize. I'm not quite familiar. I'm not
It's okay.
very good with names.
He's kind of flipping through a couple pages. He's like, I'm trying to recall. It's the hospitality is of the home, and here it is, of the home and of the hearth, the goddess Hestia.
I see.
And he kind of is thinking for a second, and you can tell Stavos, and he looks up at the prince, and Maenalus is like, yep. And Stavos is like, of the home and hearth would mean that Hestia is the goddess in charge of fire. And most certainly why we aren't allowed to use it.
My God. and Kay just like looks. Kay, like there's a moment where Kay just like brings up his good hand to just kind of like rub his temple, and he's just.
Oh, we're just like
the mess.
Oh my God,
made.
these people.
Yeah, just like quite the mess that your family's made.
And Maenalus is like, yes, my father's dubious methods angered the gods greatly.
You do not deserve to bear the sin of your father for the rest of your life.
These people certainly do not, and should not. Fire taken from the entire city because we continually disrespect the Xenia, thanks to my father's crazy ways. Restoring the old gods would bring fire back to these people and to this land, and show them that what the gods have to offer them is actually good. We may not be able to fight my father hand to hand, but we can fight him where it hurts. Taking the love of these people away from him would be a worse blow than any of us could strike.
I don't know, I'd still like to take a few shots.
Yeah.
No matter what.
But I understand the sentiment.
I want to see him grovel.
Maybe that time will come. But even getting the attention of Hestia would be nothing short of climbing a mountain at this point.
Well, if we can get to Areta, it will become a less impossible task. What time is it right now?
It's pretty late in the evening, like maybe like midnight-ish, 1 o'clock,
Okay.
something like that.
Okay. Well, how soon can you get the cart for us, Stavos?
It is waiting in the back. I can set it up quickly. You can take it, and best of luck to you.
Thank you. And thank you for your assistance.
Of course. And he like kind of grabs up a stack of those little ambrosia-looking potions, and he kind of just hands it to you guys. Like let's say someone roll a d6. It's that many plus 2.
Who wants to roll it? Not me. I've
Cipher,
been
you want to roll
shit.
it?
Sure.
What'd you get, like a 1?
I got a 1.
Okay.
God damn it.
So he gets you 3 of these bottles, and he kind of sheepishly hands them to Nyx, and it's just like, I like your horns. And he hands them to you.
He's so sweet.
Oh.
And she takes them. Thanks.
Aww.
Yeah. Kay will like nod at Stavos like, good. Yes. Yeah. Beautiful, beautiful baby.
So my inventory says I have 15 gold. Do we have any money on us at all? Period.
No.
Damn it. Okay.
But remember, you got all those fruit snacks for your trip through the Black Forest.
Okay,
for a price.
Yeah. Rinverhi, he starts searching, like he starts patting like his pockets, and he starts like looking through his bag, like it just doesn't feel right. He helped us so much, you know.
Yeah.
So, and he's like, oh yes, the snacks, and just like starts like picking them out of his bag and just like hands them towards Stavos. Sorry, I don't have any money. I don't think we have any at all.
I'm raising my hand. Do we still have any of that like wine that the satyr gave to us?
Yeah.
A little bit of that.
There's a single wineskin,
Yeah,
like,
it's pretty big though, but yeah.
Yeah, okay. I'm not suggesting we give over the full thing, but like maybe we could like just pour it on like a cup for, or just to be like, hey, cheers, dude.
Yeah, or like, do you want to have Kenopsia like suggest? Wine?
No,
okay.
I was gonna suggest. Yeah, I was gonna have him suggest something like that, but I just wanted to float the idea.
Yeah, like maybe ask if Stavos has like an empty bottle so we can give him a bottle's worth.
Okay, we'll look at Stavos and just. Are you drinking, man? Do you drink?
I think everyone enjoys a wine now and again. Yes.
Okay. Do you have the small bottle? A cup?
He just points to like everywhere around. That's all bottles and gin.
Well, I don't want to be disrespectful and just touch without asking. May I?
He grabs one and hands it to you. Sure.
Thank you. And he will, I feel like Rinverhi was the last person to have the wine
He
skin.
did, yeah.
Yeah.
He's the one who's been, the wine.
Yeah,
has it.
yeah. He'll look to Rinverhi and he's just, may I?
Oh, of course, yes. And Rinverhi will pluck out the wineskin, hand it. Actually, if Kenopsia just wants to hold the bottle, Rinverhi will just pour into it.
Yeah. Okay, we'll uncork because I think with his shoulder, he's not doing too hot. So even though it's like uncomfortable to move, I think it's like, even though it's healed, I think it's still uncomfortable to move, and it's sore. So he uncorks the bottle and he'll be sure to hold it with his good hand so it doesn't like shake everywhere.
And Rinverhi he'll pour into the bottle, and then as he does that, he glances over at Stavos and smiles, and he's like, "We got this wine from a satyr. It'll warm you up properly."
Oh, you
like,
see
just
his eyes light up, dude. He's like, "Oh,
like, this is good."
Yeah. Kay nods affirmingly, and he's just, for all the trouble you've gone through to help us, and to also just house us temporarily. We appreciate this.
Yeah.
So
That's the least we could do.
we give this to you. And, Kay will put the top back on after Rinverhi is done pouring it and hold it out to him.
As
for you
guys,
to enjoy.
He takes it like, wow, like wide-eyed, and you could tell like while you were pouring it, he was kind of flipping through his book again, like he'd heard of this before, and then he was like all excited.
Oh.
And as you're pouring it into like kind of an open container, Kenopsia, you notice you're like, holy shit, like this stuff will, it like stings your eyes,
Ooh, yeah. And he's just like, be very careful, Stavos. It's awfully strong.
So, he pops the cork on it and he's kind of like, whew, and he like takes a little sip and he's like,
is that going to be all right? Okay. Are you sure? Okay. And Kay is like, holds up a hand like, are you okay? Okay. And
Rinverhi looks super pleased. Like, yes, he is enjoying it. Yes. It's hitting.
Yeah.
So Stavos kind of looks at Nyx for a second and he's like, I know your appearance is a bit noticeable around town, but you seem like a stealthy person from your attire. I'm not trying to call anyone a thief, but you look like you know your way around. And if that's the case, I know you can drive the wagon. Keep your friends tucked away in the back. They would not expect someone of one of their size to be driving the cart. They would expect me. So someone shorter would be better.
Okay.
And he's like, I'll show you. And you can see there's like a back like window there, glass door that opens up to the back. So he's like, come. and he walks down the hall there, and he kind of opens up the double doors, and you can see there's like an alleyway there, and there's like kind of like a stable-y thing, like a little fence, and it's got like a cart in there, and the cart has like a mule, that's pulling it. And the mule's kind of like not attached to it. And Stavos goes over and he starts like linking the two together. And he's showing you like, yes, you can sit up here and and he just kind of lays down like in a little chair outside, and it's like he just passes out.
Stavos. Oh, there it goes.
And he's
Goodbye,
like,
Stavos.
he's just like, she's cute.
Yeah.
Maenalus kind of pats him on the shoulder, and he's like, sleep well, friend. Sleep well. And he gestures to the back of the cart.
Well,
You should come with us.
Wouldn't miss it for the world.
Okay, good. If you said no, I would heavily insist. I do not want to leave you here.
And he kind of holds his hand out like, help me up the cart, man. I'm going to break my ass. Come on.
yeah. Kay will hold out his
Brad
like
would
his,
help.
his other two
No, I think
big men.
Yeah, Bran and Kay, yeah. Rinverhi would assist, but that is not his role. He is not strong.
All right. So Nyx, it's your duty to kind of cover the others and make sure that they are concealed. Did you want to roll a stealth check for that?
Let us roll a stealth, yes.
Okay, I'll give you the option. You can do a stealth or a sleight of hand, whichever you prefer. I think both are acceptable.
Okay. I'm going to roll stealth.
Okay.
And get a 10.
Okay, 10's not terrible. Like they're covered. They're covered in like shapes of people sitting in the back, but that's okay.
Oh, yeah, it's lumpy.
It's lumpy.
It's like beat the lumps. But okay, looks good enough, I guess.
Well, that kind of tracks.
You're like, the way tonight's going. Gosh dang. All right, so
Okay.
you can load up in the front where he showed you. There's like the little seat part where you sit and can kind of steer the mule down the way. You say or do anything before taking off?
She'll before she gets up, she'll look at the mule.
Okay.
What does the mule do?
The mule's just kind of like,
Good mule.
That's a mule.
What a perfect
Yeah.
mule.
and it kind of sees you, and that's what it does, is like kind of like,
Yeah, so she is satisfied with this, and she just kind of pats it on the head.
and it's just like,
I am being petted.
All right.
And gets on to the
it's like ready to go.
Okay.
It's like, okay,
Yeah.
we'll go.
like, okay. Yeah, she gets onto the cart, and she looks back at her companions.
Roll a perception check.
Okay.
Bran gives the thumbs up.
14.
14. Okay. You notice it's like not your best work. They've kind of got their heads poking up a bit.
She just kind of shakes her head, and she's like,
Resigns.
Maybe we should just lie down. Maybe that'll help.
4 men lying down together. Yeah.
Don't make it weird, Bran.
All of you two assume I think that's weird.
Fair enough. I'm making it weird. But I think Rinverhi will try to help with the whole disguising or covering them.
Yeah,
like this is a card that comes from the apothecary, so I think he'll press to digitate to make it like the scent of like herbs and like potions sort of like waft off of it.
Sure. Perfect. Yeah. So, yep. You cast that spell, and Nyx, you definitely get that hint of like Vicks Vapo Rub, that eucalyptus-y kind of smell that makes people be like, it's nice, but it's too much. Too much.
It's very strong.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, have fun with that. Bye. I'm gonna leave you alone, cart. So once that spell goes off, you're like satisfied that like no one's looking in here. You know?
Yeah. So okay, she gets started.
All right. So you start heading out from the apothecary, from the kind of back, right? There's like a little alleyway there, like we talked about, and go ahead and roll a stealth check just to kind of get you guys moving. Oh, excuse me, not a stealth check, like an animal handling.
Can I cast guidance?
Yeah, you can. Yeah, sure.
Okay. Guidance.
All right.
Just
animal
another thumbs
handling
up from underneath the.
Yeah. My stealth check was wonderful, but okay. So animal handling plus a D4?
Yeah, or you can use that roll like sans modifier and just add your just the roll sans modifier and then plus the D4.
Okay. All right, so that's a 12, and then let me do. Okay, so 15 total.
Okay. All right, yeah. So you kind of give it the little ha, yeah, and the mule's just over there like, whoop, burp, burp. And it just starts going, and you guys feel yourselves lurch forward there in the back, and the mule just starts clippity-clopping down the alleyway. So it seems to be following your instructions very well. And
cool.
Yay!
Yeah.
Yay!
Stavos had kind of told you guys where to go so that you'd know how to get there. And you realize, okay, it's going to take me a little bit to get down to that area. So we're going to have you make 2 handle animal checks and 2 stealth checks. Okay, so you can just do them like pew, 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 one after the other if you want.
All right. So first animal handling. Dang it. I really wish that when you opened the game log, it wasn't stuck at the top.
I know, I hate that.
Yeah.
It's like broken weird. You got a 3 on the first one though.
Okay, yeah. 3, 11, 17, and 22.
Okay, so your first animal handling check's a 3, right? So you go down a couple of blocks and you're making your way through the town there and everything's going good. You're like, dude, this mule rocks. No one's paying attention to us. There's people in the streets still, and it's like the town is unusually lively, but you can hear the people around you being like, oh, fire. Yeah, absolutely. Real fire. I can't believe it. They're like, no, it went out very quickly soon after. It didn't spread or anything, you know? And they're like, but it tore apart the whole cliff face. And you hear all these different little bits and pieces of conversations and people just being like, oh, I hope it's not the gods. They'll forsake us. Those evil bastard gods, man, you know? And you kind of hear some people saying that, you know, that this kind of like, oh, but if the gods come back, they'll curse us all, they'll kill us all. We don't want anything from them. Keep their stinking fire. And you're kind of hearing this, and you're like, inadvertently kind of listening to that, and like kind of pulling your rein a little bit more one way than the other, and the cart just kind of drifts like the direction where you want to hear more, even though you don't really mean to be doing that. And as it does, you basically like scoop right up close to a bunch of people talking, and they're just like, oh, hey, oh, what the heck? Oh, what's going on? And they seem to be getting pretty pissed. Do you want to do anything?
Yeah, watch where you're going.
You just yell at them. All right. So there is the worry that if these people confront you more, they're going to start becoming suspicious. So are you telling them watch where you're going, like you're trying to scare them away, like you want to intimidate them and get them to leave, or what do you think?
If Nyx is going to, if Nyx is going to intimidate, can Kay try to like whisper something to her from underneath the cart?
I think you guys are pretty much out of commission at this point.
Okay.
Like you're blind and half deaf.
Okay.
So
just wanted to try.
no problem. I appreciate it.
Yeah, so she is kind of trying to intimidate, so that they will go away and she can steer herself properly.
Okay, so yeah, go ahead and roll an intimidation then.
I got an 8.
You got an 8. Okay, so these people are kind of like, oh, you watch where you're going. What the hell are you doing? And one guy's literally running beside the cart, and he's like, where are you from? Who are you? I'm going to call the guards. That shit you guys can hear in the back. You guys can hear that. It sounds like someone's running next to you, but you're not really sure what's going on or what Nyx is going to do now. So, Nyx, what are you going to do now?
Kill. Kill. No, don't do that.
Yeah, she's just she's gonna keep going. Like, that guy he's just gonna have to let go of that and let her go.
Okay, so we'll take your stealth check as you trying to now hide from this guy.
Okay.
So you got a 17 on that stealth check, which means that you managed to duck down a little alley and like cut him off a little bit dirty. So he had to stop for a second as you shoot down an alley in front of him. And then he kind of just curses at you as you go down the way. And you kind of get the sense that like, yeah, he's probably going to report you. He's going to go tell somebody that like, hey, there's a crazy guy with a cart going down this way. Not much you can do about it though, because you have at least lost him and you are out of his eyesight and or earshot. So you do manage to make it another few blocks along the way. And as you do, you see, and you guys in the back can hear that guy kind of fade away in the distance. So it sounds like the situation was sort of handled. As you guys kind of go down a little further and you get a couple more blocks away, Nyx, you see a group of guards questioning people in the street. And it seems like someone was on horseback and they have detained this person. What do you want to do?
Pass on by.
Okay.
Don't mind me. I'm just hanging out.
Yeah, essentially they're going to stop anyone who passes the road though. It's like a roadblock. So they're kind of standing there. They've stopped a guy on a horse already. They haven't quite noticed you yet. But what do you want to do? Do you want to try to get past them, like hustle past them real fast? Do you want to try to just be like, burr, 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 and ignore them and hope they don't stop you?
Yeah, she's just going to keep going.
Okay. All right.
Just play it cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're like, hey, I'm just going to keep going. Mule, go. And we'll take your second handle animal check now, which you got an 11. So an 11 is like, it's good enough where this mule is going to obey your commands beyond that of everyone else. And they're talking to this guy on the horse here. And the guy on the horse seems like he is being a bit of a buster. Like he's just like, what are you stopping me for, man? I'm doing stuff. Like I ain't got nothing to do with no fire. And two of the guards are very much like, yeah, get off the freaking horse, man. We're gonna give you a hard time now because you bowed up on us, And third guard is kind of like, oh, hey, and he holds up his hand to you and the mule, and he's holding his hand, and the mule's just like, Just go and send this guy's like, whoa, 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 whoa.
Can we adopt the mule so you can do
Yeah.
it every session from now on?
I have a +2 to animal handling.
This is my steed.
Yeah.
This is my steed.
Right?
Yeah,
This
new
is my
paladin
steed.
steed.
Yeah.
So he's like visibly trying to stop the mule and get him to stop, but that mule just does not care. And he has to jump out of the way so that you don't run him over with the wagon.
Mm-hmm.
And
That's
this guy,
right.
this guy's
yeah.
like, "Oh, are you kidding me? What are you doing?" And the other two guys are like, "Oh," and you hear them draw steel, and they're chasing after the cart now.
Can we see it all from underneath the tarp?
Let's have you roll a perception check with disadvantage, and if you get over 10, I'll say you can see what's going on.
Okay. All right. First one, 14. 16, so 14.
Okay. So yeah, you get a sense of what's going on out there. Like it's kind of looking through a cloth that's a little bit translucent,
Okay.
you know?
Yeah. So I just imagine Rinverhi like trying to peek out, and he sees this other guy on the horse being a buster.
Yeah.
And Rinverhi, he has a invisible mage hand. So I want him to slap the ass of the horse of the other guy.
All right, man.
Just
So,
make
yeah.
a bigger problem for them so they leave us alone.
You slap the ass of
Nice.
this horse, and this horse is disgruntled, and the horse is just like, you know, and just goes brr, and starts just kicking in all directions, and then takes off running, and like kind of just plows through a bunch of people like bowling pins. And these people just create this like wave, and it like where those guards are trying to run by, they just get toppled by people falling over, and those people fall over on top of them. And luckily the horse is like doing this number enough where it doesn't like trample anyone and just kind of jumps free. And now those guards are like, "You on the freaking horse, like stop, god damn it." And they're just yelling and screaming, and people are like, "Oh my god, I'm sorry." And they're just like, you know, batting people away from in front of them. They're like, "Stop, stop." And they have like split up now, where now they have two people on horse. One guy starts to chase after you, and he gets mobbed by the crowd. And Nyx, your second stealth check is a 22. And the one guard that pursues you loses track of you pretty quickly as you kind of whoop, whoop, whoop around some people and dart into an alley. Rinverhi, I liked that quite a bit. That was very funny. And
I think Rinverhi is getting like he has a special satisfaction watching this unfold. Just like he feels like he tries to be very composed and regal most of the time because he feels like as a healer and a devout person he should be. But there is a streak of mischief in him.
Every
and
once
he
in a
does
while,
like
is
watching
that,
this
like,
happen. Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Little
There's
true to chaos for the
yeah, exactly. Like, there's this little smirk, and then like he quickly like kind of like wipes it away. Like no one see. Don't look at me.
Well, do me a favor. Call over or under and roll yourself a percent.
Okay.
Yeah. Which one do you think you're gonna get, over or under?
Over on. Let's go over.
Okay.
All right. Where's the percent? Is it D100? Is that what I need to roll?
That's fine. Yeah.
Okay. 61.
All right. So you called it, right? You called over?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. E, you have gained another point of divine inspiration.
Oh my gosh! Wow!
You have pleased the gods.
Oh fuck yeah! I love you, Apollo. I love that you love this.
Yes.
The light reveal. Oh, that's awesome. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you. So, Nyx, tactfully, you get down the alleyway and manage to do an expert job of stealthing your way down the last couple of streets. And these are like long kind of corridory. This has been a long journey. Let me just say that. Like, it is taking you hours to get here. You know, like, this is a long city and you're on a mule. It's not very fast. So you guys are kind of arriving in this peninsula when it is kind of like just breaking day, you know? So the sun is coming up like kind of very early. Like I said, the sun set forever last night, and it seems to be like just doing this very like early dawn kind of slow morning rise. So since it hit about 5 a.m., there's been like a glimmer of like everything's been slowly getting brighter and brighter. And you arrive kind of in this peninsula district when the daylight is kind of piercing out pretty well, and you get to a certain area and you realize that everything now really starts fading away from that medieval sort of look, and everything is getting very much back into that ancient Arcadian look that we had seen prior to now. And the peninsula is completely made in the style of those ancient temples and everything, you know? So it's very pretty. But as you're like moving through it, there are some of these very large, beautiful structures up front. And then as you get into it more and more, they kind of look like a little more not so nice, like makeshifty places. And as you're moving through, I want you to roll me a perception check. And all you guys in the back can also roll it with disadvantage too if you choose.
Okay.
13 for Nyx.
Okay.
19.
19?
I'm gonna
Okay.
fucking kill someone. I rolled a nat 20 and I got mate. I don't want to talk to anyone for the rest. I don't want to talk to anyone.
You did good.
No, man. No, I fucking didn't.
So, Nyx, you're definitely getting the sense that you're like, wait a minute, these lavish buildings up front, these are government buildings. These are buildings that are like, they're like guard stations where they are put here to keep the people on the peninsula, but not in a like forceful way, in a way of being like, it's not wise of me to leave the peninsula because these guys will see me, you know? So it's more of like they're being oppressed through intimidation rather than any means of physical oppression, you know? Rinverhi, you notice as well in the back of the cart, like you get a sense right away that you're like, oh my God, these are like guard barracks. Like they keep guards here. And you have this like chilling feeling of like, we are going to get so fucking busted just walking through here. And Kenopsia, you're just like, you know, looking out among the street, and there's this weird moment where you're looking and you're like, are there guards nearby? And you're like, I don't smell as many people as normal. And you're like,
no. Yeah, Kay. I think at that realization, he like hits himself in the face, like, get it together. Get it together.
But you definitely have a sense that everyone has been dispatched throughout the city, that there's like a skeleton crew of people here that have likely been up all night, and they don't seem to be paying too much attention to you guys. So you may just luck out moving through here. So Nyx, go ahead and roll one last stealth check to get by the garrison that lives at the front of the peninsula.
19.
Ooh,
Nice, dude.
Hot.
All right. You're going down and you're just
Hell
like,
yeah.
kip. And this like group of guards just come running out and run right past you, dude. Like they don't even look at you. And you're just like, nice. You know, you're just you start making your way down, and as you get down the streets of the peninsula, you start to see like the more and more battered living conditions, that the people here look like they get their shipments and they get their supplies. And like Stavos said, he'll take stuff out here from time to time, but you're getting the sense that like, oh, those guys didn't react to me because he brings stuff for the guards, but not the people in here. So the people are looking a little bit worse for wear. You see a couple people just sitting in the street looking like malnourished and like they're not doing very well. And then you get a little bit further in and away from the garrison parts, and you start to see that things are dilapidated and they don't look good, right? But you're kind of like peeking in windows as you go by, and you realize inside the windows, these people, they have like little gardens of their own, and they're like growing their own herbs and stuff. And you see like an animal or two in there, and you're starting to sense like, okay, so they're building their own little like community in here now, you know, and they're kind of like almost like a separate city on this peninsula now. And as you guys make your way down, you can see kind of on the very end of it, on the very tip, right, is a very small hovel, kind of just looking over the water. And where it is there looking over the water, you can see this like kind of open air shelter and the daylight peeking up and around behind it. And you see this small structure. And you realize that's where you're going.
Ooh.
So you guys start to approach, and you see a couple of people kind of take notice of y'all, and they kind of give you like a strange look, but just keep walking and don't mind anything. And the wagon kind of approaches there and gets to sort of the front entrance, like the, you know, you get here basically, and you're like, there's nowhere really to like put the cart or like hide it at this point. But you're pretty far away from that garrison, and everyone here seems pretty chill, like they don't give a shit, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So it's up to you. What do you want to do?
Yeah, if this is it, then she stops the cart, and disembarks.
All right. Are you going to get the others or just go inside?
She was gonna go talk to them.
Okay.
So yeah, she'll go around the back and whisper, you know, I mean, we're here.
Oh, we can come out. It's safe.
I don't know. And then she looks over her shoulder. Yeah, and is like, is it safe? Like you said that there are people like just kind of looking at them.
Yeah, there's kind of people walking around and looking at them, and you feel like it would be weird if the others were just like, whoa, and they just came out from the back of a wagon. That's probably going to draw some attention, but you're not sure if there's a place around the side or something from where you're at right here, and you're not even sure you're at the right place.
How about she hops back up and she like steers towards like the side if she can.
Sure, you can do that. As you start like getting back on the horse, you can hear Maenalus kind of whispering out at you. And he's like, is this the right place? Do you see her?
I don't see anything. Except for, is that a jellyfish? What is that?
It's one of those glowing lanterns. This one just happens to be blue.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so she tells Maenalus, under her breath, like, I don't see anything. There's no one there.
Yeah. Perhaps it'd be prudent to go and take a peek. I know your skills of stealth will outweigh the rest of ours.
Okay. So she leaves them and goes towards the little shack.
Okay. Are you sneaking up or just walking up?
Sneaking.
Okay, go ahead and roll your stealth.
Is Nyx able to move the cart somewhere off to the side before she goes in?
Not like to the side of the building or anything. You're still kind of like out front, but it's
Okay.
more like in this parking lot kind of thing, if that makes sense. Like your
Got it, yeah,
driveway,
okay.
like this driveway kind of thing.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right, 21.
21. Okay, so yeah, you manage to sneak on up and you get right up into the doorway and you realize that if you kind of hunker down behind the light, you can probably peek over it and the light would obscure you. So you go over and you kind of peek over a little bit of the light and you look inside and you see a woman standing inside there. And she looks like she's making herself a small breakfast.
Well,
Little midnight snack. Also, hi.
hello.
Yeah, so she's just not sure what to. Yeah, there's a lady. I think that's the.
Is Nyx still wearing Rava's cloak?
Yes.
Okay. I think that should help.
Yeah. Yeah, I suppose this might be the place. So she just kind of she reveals herself.
Okay, so you just stand up from behind the lantern and you notice the old woman kind of get startled for a second, like she didn't know someone was right there. And then she sees you and kind of squints and is like, Rava? Child,
No.
is this you?
No. And she takes off the cloak and reveals totally not her granddaughter.
Yeah, and you see the old woman kind of look sad for a second.
Yeah. But she's like, I know Rava. She had me bring this back to you.
She lives?
Yes.
Then your presence here is a gift. Come inside, outsider. Come inside.
May my companions join me.
There are more of you who snuck past the garrison?
Long story.
Yes, tell them to come in, of course.
Okay, yeah, so she nods. And
All right, she's going to kind of walk with you, kind of towards the
Yeah.
doorway. She's kind of wiping her hands up with a rag. And she looks and sees the wagon with not people in it, but clearly lumpy people in it. And she's like, bring the wagon around the side. Bring the wagon around the side. And she points to the side of her house there.
Okay, so she does so.
All right. So you pull the wagon around the side. And it's now kind of obscured from the view of most of the people and basically facing out into the ocean.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so is the mule okay?
Yeah, he's fine. He's
All
instantly eating something from the ground.
Okay. All right.
He deserves a snack. Yeah.
Yeah. Yay!
Yeah. So as long as the mule's good where he is, then she goes ahead and she takes the tarps off of her companions.
All right. So you kind of just
This is the place.
reveal the whole kit and caboodle right there.
Yep.
All right. So she pulls it back. All three of you guys see this old woman there who's kind of wiping her hands with something. And she looks at all of you and you're, for this area, kind of strange look about you, and she kind of doesn't really react to it much. And then she's just like, you And her eyes go to Maenalus. And we'll find out what she has to say next time, right here on Pristine Dreams.
Nice.
Thank you guys for joining. Hope you had fun. Great session.
That was super fun. That was action-packed. Jeez. That was tense. I was so fucking nervous.
Well, you guys did a great job. Look at you guys. Yay.
We're adventurers.
You managed to not get too brutally killed during the fight with King Lycia,
Just a
right?
touch killed.
Which was nice. Yeah. Poor Kenopsia got hit hard there and fast.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But you guys managed to escape there, kind of learn more about what's been going on here in Arcadia and what's behind the veil. I know you guys were waiting for that other shoe to drop, and I think you really weren't expecting it to fall so far.
I was not expecting. I thought we were just gonna fight King Lycion. I didn't even.
I know. God,
also, having to flee.
I definitely like being like 40 something.
Yeah, and just seeing how little damage he took actually in that fight. Oh my God.
It's a pretty harrowing encounter, but you guys survived, and hopefully now can learn some of the secrets of the gods from Aret herself, and like you said, take the next step into awakening the old gods.
Yeah, wakey. Time to smite some bitches.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, guys. I hope you had fun. Thank you guys for joining me. I'm going to go ahead and shut it down. Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Oh, what am I doing? Yeah. Thank you, beautiful people out there, for hanging out, watching, and checking out the show here. We are available anywhere where podcasts can be heard. And of course, right here on YouTube. Please feel free to like and subscribe if you made it this far, because you probably enjoyed it. I know I enjoy the hell out of these crazy goofballs down here and their antics. So please leave us a comment down below. Let us know what you like and what you don't like. And we will see you next time right here on Pristine Dreams. Right? Dream on, dreamers. Say goodbye, everybody.
Dream on. Good night.
Good night.
The adventure continues in the next exciting episode of Pristine Dreams. Thank you for listening. Visit us on our YouTube channel at D20 Dreamland. Leave us a review, like, share, and subscribe to catch the rest of the adventure. Until next time, sweet dreams.